It was a windy, blustery day on the river, and I think it's fair to say that both the Swan and I were struggling a little bit with this sudden change in weather. And as much as I love the changing seasons, today was one of those days where I could barely feel or see the sun's rays as they came through the clouds. And so I was very glad to have the company of this swan, who pulled up her neck and stretched it out and fluffed it up as a sign of greeting. And while most birds were taking shelter out of the blustery weather, I too was grateful to see my friend the swan. But we weren't alone for very long, because we were soon joined by some other gulls and another swan. And it was soon clear that gulls of all types seemed to revel in this weather, making maximum use of the wind as they foraged for food. Gulls are expert flyers, having mastered the wind and being able to climb and dive. I love watching them on windy days, seeing how they seem to remain motionless as they hover in the wind. I often see the swans sitting quite high up on the banks of the river when the tide is out, but to see them out of the water on such a windy day as today was quite a surprise. It would seem that now that the summer is over, there is less seagrass and algae for the birds to eat, and it is more common for them to climb up high on the banks where there is more fresh vegetation, such as leaves and conventional grasses. A little while later, I was joined by the mother duck and her grown-up ducklings, along with a couple of river crows. It was as I was watching these birds that I realised that I think that this swan pair was the pair that had the cygnet earlier on in the summer. This little cygnet was born quite late in the season, and I have to say that knowing how difficult life is on this river, I was always a little worried about whether it would make it. And while I do hope I'm wrong about the loss of this cygnet, I suspect that I'm not. And of course that makes me a little sad, but I guess that is just nature. And so all I can do is wish this swan pair all the best for next year. But now back to the windy river, where the swans and I were both having trouble standing upright because of the wind. And I think here the male swan is having a little warm-up and trying to communicate with the female that he would like to take flight. And here they are, both getting ready before what looks like quite an ambitious takeoff. And so, left alone with the gulls, I decided to make my way off the river. But just as I was leaving, I spotted these juvenile starlings that were looking for food at the bank of the river. I love starlings. They are brave, plucky and full of character, and it's great to see them by the river. But as the light started to fade, I knew it was definitely time for me to go. I hope you've enjoyed this windy episode with me, and if you have, please like and subscribe, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.